Alrighty. So we had to take a bit of some time off as we were both experiencing some serious personal issues. So we want to apologize about that first and foremost. But we are back with the conclusion of Dillinger.
Woo! Finally, the end.
The end game. Dun, 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 dun. So when we left off, Billy had just gone into the bar and got picked up by Donegan and Gary. That's when Dillinger took off and never, never saw Billy again. So after that happened, oh God, bless my computer's fucking up.
Yay! We just got shit set up.
After they took off from the bar, the FBI, well, let me rephrase, the Bureau or Division of Investigations, which later became the FBI, they got a call on the morning of April 22nd that Dillinger and a couple of his buddies were hiding out in Little Bohemia near present-day Manitowish Waters, Wisconsin. Wisconsin. Now, Special Agent Purvis and a couple other agents uh, uh, took some caution while they were approaching, and three guys left and took off. They started yelling at the car, but the dude was drinking, didn't hear the cops, and they shot the car.
Damn.
And
So
the
random.
driver was killed. Now, because they decided to shoot up the car, that's when all hell broke loose. Dillinger and a couple of other guys were upstairs and started shooting out the windows. Now, while the agents were trying to take cover, Dillinger and his guys fucking dipped out the back and just disappeared.
You say they took caution. It looked like they were just going to raid the damn place.
Mm-hmm. I mean, by the look of it, yeah. And it kind of makes sense why they shot at the car, because Dillinger could have been in it, da-da-da-da-da. But they fucked that up. Like 100% they fucked that up.
Oh, yeah. I was just like, why wasn't anyone watching the back door?
Yeah, right. I always watch the back door. Yeah, so, it winks. God damn it. So, a conversation with Art O'Leary back in 1934. Dillinger opened up his mind to the interest of plastic surgery.
Prima donna.
I need to make boobs, a facelift. But he asked O'Leary to talk to a gentleman named Pickwick on it, and by the end of April, Pickwick went and saw his old friend, Dr. Wilhelm Loser.
Loser.
It's probably Loser, yeah.
You can call it loser if you want. I don't know.
Oh, fuck, it's just an extra E. So Loser had practiced in Chicago for about 27 years prior to being convicted under the Harrison Narcotic Act of 1931. Sentenced to 3 years in Leavenworth, and he was paroled on December 7th, 1932 with Pickle's help. And after he was able to get out, he was, like I said, with Pickwick's help, he was able to perform facial surgery on himself and obliterate the fingerprint impressions on the tips of his fingers with a caustic soda concoction.
So that was Dillinger who got the surgery, not the doctor.
Well, the notes are fucked up.
Yeah.
Sir.
Yeah, blame the writer. That was me.
But so Pickwick had a conversation with Dillinger saying that it was $5,000 for the surgery, and it was a $4,400 split between Pickwick, Lozier, and O'Leary, and 6,000 to Dr. Cassidy.
600.
That's what I said.
Just six
Um,
out.
Now, Dr. Cassidy is the one who administered the anesthetic, and the procedure would take place at uh, the home of 67-year-old James Probasco at the end of May.
Okay, yeah.
No. Oh, wow. This is really kind of fucked up. So the total amount of surgery that he had done was he had two moles removed on the right lower forehead between his eyes and one at the left angle, I guess you could call it, of his left
Mighty
eye.
Mo.
He wanted to get rid of his guacamole. He wanted the depression of his nose filled. There was a scar that was on the left line of his upper lip removed, and he wanted his dimples removed, along with the angle of his mouth drawn up. He wanted to be the Joker,
Yeah, it's what it sounds like.
and he didn't say anything about having his fingertips done until that day.
Well, that's new technology. Uh,
Right?
they wouldn't have been doing fingerprints very much earlier than that.
Oh hell no. But I mean, depending on how long he was wanting to go, they may have ended up with that technology later on.
Oh,
He
yeah.
was just playing the long game. So this is where we have a young lady by the name of Polly Hamilton coming into the picture. Her real name was simply Rita.
Rita.
Now she was
Rita
a
Repulsa.
what?
Rita Repulsa.
No, just Rita. Now she was a teenage runaway from Fargo, North Dakota, and if I was living in Fargo, North Dakota, I would be too. She met Anna Ivanova Ankalieva. Ankalaeva. Anyway, we're just going to call it Anna Sage.
That's what they do.
Yeah, right? Because, no one can fucking pronounce a goddamn name. Now, she met her in Gary, Indiana, and worked as a prostitute in Anna's brothel until marrying a Gary police officer by the name of Roy O'Keefe in 1929. And they divorced in 1933.
So the hooker thing probably got her right.
Oh, yeah, yeah, that's exactly that's what got his Jimmy's. Part-time hooker, by the way. She was charging half price.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Right? Two for one. In the summer of 1934, the 26-year-old Hamilton was now a waitress in Chicago at the S&S sandwich shop located on Wilson Avenue. Now, she remained friends with Sage and shared a living space with her and Sage's 24-year-old son, Steve. And I mean, after that, there's not really a whole lot that we know about Rita involving up in Chicago or Gary, but what we do know is the head of the Department of Investigations, old Mr. J. Edgar Hoover, had a special task force set up in Chicago to locate Dillinger.
You think he was wearing the dress at the time?
I don't know. Wait, hold on. Are we talking about Hoover or Dillinger?
Hoover.
I don't know. Maybe in like closed office.
I need to set this task force up.
I need to feel pretty for this. So on July 21st, Anna Sage, the, who owned the brothel in Gary, was also known as the Woman in Red. And she reached out to the FBI. Said she was a Romanian immigrant threatened with deportation for low moral character.
He was
And
a madam.
I mean, is that really low moral? She's not fucking anybody.
It would
She
have
just
been to them in
she's just
Indiana.
she's just giving people the place to fuck and charging rent. That's it. I mean, that's how you get away from owning a brothel. But she had offered agents information on Dillinger in exchange for their help in preventing her deportation. Now, the FBI had agreed to her terms, but she was still deported because fuck her. Yeah,
Yeah, that's why you can never trust the government.
no comment. So Sage had told them that Dillinger was spending a lot of his time with another prostitute, Rita,
Oh,
and that her and the couple were going to see a movie together the following day. And she had agreed to wear an orange dress so the police can easily pick her out. Now, she was unsure of which of the theories that they would go to, the biograph or the Marlboro. Marlboro. Sounds like a
yeah.
cigarette.
But
Now,
so, and we're now getting to where she comes into the story. We went through a bit of her backstory. Now we're
and all in all, it was the sage that ended everything.
too much, too much.
On December 15th, 1934, pardons had been issued by Indiana Governor Harry G. Leslie, for which Anna Sage was convicted. And she had stated that Sunday afternoon, July 22nd, Dillinger asked her whether she wanted to go to the show with Polly and him. So she naturally asked, what is he going to go see? He's like, and he said that he would, quote, like to see the theater around the corner, meaning the biograph. So she stated that she would not be able to leave the house to inform Purvis or Martin about Dillinger's plans for the biograph, but they were going to have fried chicken for their evening meal. She told Rita that she had nothing in which to fry the chicken, so she was going to go to the store to get some butter. While at the store, she called Purvis and told them, "Hey, it's the biograph this time, da 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 da," while getting the butter. And when she got to the house, so Rita wouldn't be suspicious that she wanted to call anybody. Now, a team of federal agents and Chicago police officers were sitting out pretty much outside, and one of them was Martin Zarkovich, and this is the officer who Sage had acted as an informant for. Now, at the time, the federal officials felt that Chicago police had been compromised and could not be trusted.
Isn't that always the case?
Shocker. Now, Hoover and Purvis also just wanted the credit
Yeah,
and
that makes sense.
not want to take the risk of another embarrassing escape by Dillinger. They split into two groups. On Sunday, one team went to the Marlboro and the other team went to the Biograph. Now, they probably sat out there for fucking hours.
At least they were covering both. With
Oh,
the
yeah.
last one, it seemed like a 50-50. Like, get them or don't.
Maybe, possibly, I don't know. Uh, Now, at approximately 8:30 p.m., some accounts vary on the time. Sage, Rita, and Dillinger were seen going into the biograph. And oddly enough, it was showing the Manhattan melodrama, which was a crime drama starring Clark Gable, Myrna Loy, and William Powell. Now, while the cops were sitting out there, the biograph's manager thought that they were getting robbed. Like they thought the federal agents were sitting out there fucking staking or scoping out the place. So, as any dutiful manager would do, he called Chicago PD, who did their duty, showed up, and were promptly told to fuck off.
Yeah.
They didn't. The federal agents didn't tell them why. They just said, "Hey, we're FBI. Go fuck yourself." Now, when the film ended, Purvis was already standing by the front door, and he signaled Dillinger's exit by lighting a cigar, as the 1930s does.
Yeah, I just can't. I can't get over the fact that did the cops show up? Yeah, fuck off. I'm FBI. They don't have any way to prove that.
They probably had a badge or something, some
I
kind of
know,
ID.
but yeah, like normally cops wouldn't leave. But okay, back to
Uh,
where we were.
so both he and other agents reported that Dillinger had turned his head and looked directly at the fucking agent. Now, right after he looked at the agent, he looked across the street, moved ahead of his female companions, reached into his pocket, but did not pull out his gun. Because, well, he failed. And then he dipped off into an alley. Now, other accounts say that Dillinger ignored a command to surrender, pulled out his gun, and ran for the alley. But either way, the FBI agents were already in the alley.
They
Now,
had this thing ready to go.
oh yeah, they were not letting him get away this time. So 3 men pursued Dillinger into the alley, fired and missed, fired again and missed. Um, I'm kidding, I don't really fucking know. But Clarence Hurt shot twice, Charles Winston 3 times, and a gentleman by the name of Herman Hollis once. Dillinger was hit from behind and fell face first to the ground. And all in all, he was struck 4 times with 2 bullets grazing him, one causing a superficial wound to the right side, but the fatal bullet entered the back of his neck, severed the spinal cord, and passed into his brain and exited just under the right eye. Severed
Damn.
two sets of veins and arteries, and an ambulance was summoned, although it was very soon apparent that Dillinger had died from the gunshot wounds. He was officially pronounced dead at the Alexian Brothers Hospital. And according to investigators, he died without saying a word. Now, Winston was later thought to have fired the fatal shot, as a consequence received the personal letter of commendation from J. Edgar Hoover. But unfortunately, 2 female bystanders, Teresa Paulus and Etta Natalski, were wounded. Now, Dillinger knocked into Natalski just as the shooting started, and she was shot and subsequently taken to the Columbus Hospital. So, collateral damage.
Yeah, I just picture a bunch of people like hiding behind the car, just firing wildly. Yeah.
Oh no, my 6-shooter's out. So Dillinger was shot and killed on what?
I don't know.
Cover me, I'm out. The corniest fucking gangster movie ever. So on July 22nd, 1934, Dillinger took his last breath at approximately 10:40. Now, His death came only 2 months after the death of Bonnie and Clyde, which, holy shit.
They were active at the same time.
Hmm. Barely, but yeah. Uh, but there were reports of people dipping their handkerchiefs and skirts into the pool of blood of Dillinger. And they did it as keepsake. Souvenir hunters madly dipped newspapers in the blood that stained the pavement. Handkerchiefs were whipped out and used to mop it up, which means dick.
That
But
just means
Dillinger,
human greed.
yeah, right? Yeah, that just goes back to the whole, I have LeBron James gym sock. He sweat on me.
I don't understand stuff.
Yeah. No, for a while there was a fucking mad dash of getting like a fucking famous person's fucking tissue or some shit. But
Ew.
Dillinger's body was available for public display at the Cook County morgue, and an estimated 15,000 people came to view the corpse over a day and a half. And as many
Nickel?
as
Give me a nickel and you can see the body of John Dillinger. Come on, come on.
oh shit! Get
Ah,
your dead man tickets. One nickel dead man ticket. You just got a guy out in the corner with one of those massive megaphones. But there were 4 death masks made. Like people were fucking enamored by Dillinger.
oh yeah. They were all
So
celebrities.
Dillinger was eventually buried at Crown Hill Cemetery down in Indianapolis. Unfortunately, because people are shit, his gravestone's been replaced many of times simply because of vandalism by people chipping off pieces as souvenirs. And Hilton Crouch, who died in 1976, was an associate of Dillinger for some of his earlier robberies. He's buried just a few yards away from them. And nobody gives a fuck.
Nope.
Now, October 2019, Indiana state officials approved plans to exhume the remains buried in Dillinger's grave. Now, this is at the request of Dillinger's relatives because they believe that it wasn't actually Dillinger. The FBI dismissed the claim as a conspiracy theory, and the exhumation was scheduled for December 31st, 2019. Now, according to the most recent information from January 2020, Dillinger's body will not be removed. His nephew and his niece quit those plans, and the History Channel also canceled the idea.
Ah, more human greed.
The History Channel, yeah, I could see that being human greed,
Well,
but
his
his,
nephew and niece was just trying to get a TV show out of it.
I no, I think that was more of true belief that it wasn't John. The History Channel just saw an idea, and was like, hey, 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 hey. That's what I think that was.
Well, that's the end of John Dillinger.
And since this is the end of John Dillinger, both literally and figuratively, I want to put out a special little thing for a good friend of mine, Matt Sommer. He is currently in the process of opening a bar in downtown Indianapolis. Where it is at, I don't remember, but I do remember it is in the southeast sector. The name currently is under review, but it does have to do with John Dillinger, and it will be a true to God speakeasy.
Ooh.
As I get more information, I will be putting it out on the future episodes as well as hints to what the code is to get in and what to be on the look for to put the code in.
You guys pay attention.
Oh, yeah. It'll always
No,
happen
I
at the
don't.
end of the episode or maybe in the middle. You never know. You just have to listen to the whole thing. Mm,
Mm. All right.
no, got him. All
Thanks
right.
for
So,
listening to the new episode. Hopefully we can get back on a normal schedule. We seem to be getting shit kind of back together.
right.
Um,
I'm actually going to have a decent webcam here tomorrow.
Woo! So you don't have to look at. I'm pretty sure you're in hell right now. That's
Oh,
what's going on with your camera.
hang on.
Ah, now I'm being kidnapped. I don't have any money to give you.
I'm not after the money, boy.
Oh, all
Mm.
right, all right, all right, guys. Father loves you. That's
Oh,
good,
fucking
sir.
God. I love you guys. I just appreciate y'all being here. We'll see y'all on the next one.
Laters.